done for. Everyone get out.
Greetings programs and welcome to DiRT Rally, also known as that game I got free with my new graphics card. Yes, I hadn't even looked at it when I was buying the graphics card. I didn't even realise that it came with a free game, although I should have. Last time I bought a graphics card, it came with Battlefield 4. This time it came with this. Now, I hadn't initially, I'd heard of DiRT Rally. I'd seen the name around the place in a few places. But I hadn't realised it was Codemasters that make it, and it basically is following on from the Colin McRae franchise. In fact, they basically just kind of renamed the Colin McRae franchise. And you might be thinking, well, of course they did. He died in, when was it, 2007? Was it earlier than that? I can't remember. Rather sad, anyway. But no, it was actually, I think, well after he died that they then decided to change the name of the series. So this is, I think, technically still an early access game. It's been available in one form or another since April, I believe. And I think they've just come out with an update in terms of adding cars and stuff. So I have noticed a couple of kind of occasional stutters, glitches, things like tree textures flickering, and the replays don't quite work right. But on the whole, I mean, it runs very, very well. I'm actually recording this at 60 FPS. In fact, in the menu, it's showing at the moment 250 FPS, but it should still hold up when I'm playing at least at 60. When I was just recording at 30, because I did a little test record earlier, the game itself was running at 90, so it's very well optimized. It's running very, very well, and graphically it looks alright. Even this is on like pretty much the highest graphic settings, it's running this well. So I'm going to see if I can talk and drive at the same time. Probably not. It's probably going to be a disaster, but I've already had a go at the basic championship, and I've got both of the 60s rallies cars. I by far prefer the Lancia, and I think that's the one we'll go with, because why not? Now, we're going to have... I was hoping I could select the... I suppose if I do a custom thing, I could select the Finnish things, because, you know, I know a couple of Finns, and I know the Finns are mad keen on their motorsport, but I think we'll just have to do Wales instead. So we'll do, I don't know, maybe the first two stages, which should give us about... that should take us to about 10 or 12 minutes. I won't drag you through the whole thing. So basically, I mean, I've tried it out, and I'm going to say I have not played a racing game in a little while now. The most recent was, I mean, I owned Colin McRae Rally 1 and 2. I think I had at least one of the WRC titles for the PlayStation 2. And of course, I've been playing the Gran Turismo series for years and years and years, which had some kind of rally cars and dirt tracks in them. But that was never the focus of the Gran Turismo games. They were always much more about track racing, and the rally cars and modes always kind of felt like an afterthought, really. So I'm a bit rusty, but I've definitely improved even in just like the 2 hours playtime I've had already. So we'll give this a go. And, well, I don't know if I could pay attention to the co-driver and actually talk at the same time. I might just go very quiet at times, because otherwise I'll probably just crash into things. So we've got clouds, no rain. I think for these stages it just kind of randomizes. We'll also go to the interior car view, which is rather nicely rendered. So yeah, it's been a while, and I suppose I could say I've played enough of these games that I'm a bit of a veteran of racing games, or at least on consoles, but I was never super good at them. I got reasonably good at Gran Turismo, but of course rally driving and track driving are somewhat different things. So this is starting off as a fairly nice, gentle track so far. And I mean track in the sense of, you know, it is literally a gravel track. Somewhere in deepest, darkest Wales. They actually have a charity rally event here in the Hebrides every year, with I think something like 3 stages. But whoa, see, I've gone awry already. Oh no! Now you do get. I mean, we can look in the thing and see. Yeah, it's looking a bit bashed up already. And if you take too much damage, well, you basically just get disqualified. And I did have that happen to me in one particular thingy already, one particular rally. So I'm going to try not to do that too much, but oh, having done this particular rally already, well, yeah, it's definitely a lot harder when you have to talk at the same time and you can't quite pay as much attention to the co-driver, but I'm doing my best here. This is almost a challenge in of itself. I mean, you really do need to listen to what he's saying, especially on some of the laps. And I've even found myself, I always was, when I was younger, one of those people that would sit and kind of lean as they were playing, and I found myself doing that again as well, leaning from side to side, as if that would somehow make me drive better. No. Anyway, this hasn't been so bad. I've gone off the track once and dinged up the front of the car a bit, but it's not too bad. I actually, I remember, I can't remember if it was the first or second Colin McRae rally, but at the time it was quite exciting because of all the racing games that you had. I mean, it was stuff like, oh god, I don't even know. I mean, there was Gran Turismo, obviously, on the PlayStation. There was the Ridge Racer series. That was a very long-running one. I don't know if Ridge Racer is even still going. But none of these games, I mean, I think in the Gran Turismo games, you could take damage to certain aspects of your car, although that might have been later in the franchise. That might have been like Gran Turismo 3 or maybe Gran Turismo 4, but you never got any kind of visual damage indicator, whereas when the first Colin McRae rally came out, it was like, oh my god, I can smash into a tree and, you know, bits will fall off, and that is very much the same. I've not managed to do anything as dramatic as knock an axle off, but I've had tyres burst repeatedly. You can really deform the cars quite badly, and as you can see, I've already managed to crack the windshield on this one. So we're approaching the last split, and no, don't lose it, I've managed to do not too badly, but this is a reasonably straightforward one. The Finnish one was just, oh my word. Oh, and the Greek stage as well was pretty interesting. I've played one with the Mini as well, but of the 60s cars, which is what you start off with when you're doing the career mode. You only get two to choose from, the Mini and the Lancia, and yeah, definitely the Lancia. Even though the Mini is a correct, you know, proper British left-hand drive car, it's just, I don't know. I have also interestingly found it easier to drive from the cockpit view. Mostly in racing games I find it easier to drive in third person. That was especially true of Gran Turismo. Although Gran Turismo, it was only relatively late in the day. I think it was either GT3 or GT4 where they finally started to introduce sort of in-car views. It might have been, oh, I can't remember, it might have been GT4. Maybe. In GT5, what they did was they had some kind of, well, like World of Tanks has at the moment with the standard def models and high def models, where, well, even the kind of standard def ones look pretty decent, but the high def ones had fully modelled interiors as well, whereas the standard ones did not. Just before the end, I managed to whack myself with a 14-second penalty. Well done, me. That wasn't too bad, but my word, it could have been better. Anyway, 6th place. The best I've done so far is placing 4th, and I think for 2 hours play, considering I haven't played, like even the last time I played Gran Turismo 5 for the PS3, which I've still got on my shelf, was probably well over a year ago. I don't fire it up to play games that often. I mostly just play, you know, use it for Netflix and playing DVDs and whatever while I'm rendering videos. We'll actually just have a very quick look at, pardon me, at the replay system, which has got some, I mean, it's not quite World of Tanks, but you can sort of change between the different camera views, and, you know, this would be perfectly alright for me getting some snaps for the thumbnails, for instance. You can get an in-car view, you get all the different views. You get this kind of nice in between the driver and oh, just ignore that tree. Co-driver. I don't actually know. I'd be so cool if the notes actually corresponded to what he was saying, but it probably isn't. It's probably just a generic texture. So there we go. It's looking a bit deformed already. It looks alright. It's a decent enough looking game. It's got a pretty nice lighting engine going for it. The weather effects are alright. I mean, it's nice. It looks pretty good. So we'll, let's see, step out of this and we'll go on to the next stage. See if I can't improve things a bit. Now, I won't quite know until I get to the... Like, this might end up being a 30 FPS video after all. But I won't quite know till I get to the editing stage whether it's held up sufficiently as 60. Because I can't sit and watch the counter when I've got to watch the road. When there's not that much happening, it's ticking along at about 75, 80, even when recording 60 FPS. But, of course, the more stuff happening on screen, the more it's got to render. The more it has to work at it. So I've got all the damage from the previous stage. It's only after the second stage that you get the chance to repair. You get a half-hour repair time. There's also, in career mode, at least anyway, fairly sharp turn coming up. There's, again, kind of following on from the manager mode. Well, not following on exactly, but it kind of is reminiscent of the manager mode from GT4 and up. Was it even GT3 and up? I can't remember. I've been playing that series for so long. Where you could have kind of a roster of AI drivers that you would manage, and as you race them, they would gain skills and that. It's not exactly AI drivers, but there are behind-the-scenes staff. So you start off by default when you're doing a campaign. I know what I mean. With like a race manager or oh, I don't know what to call him exactly, but a manager sort that kind of does all the organising and everything. Start off with one of those by default. And then you can hire engineers as you go along, and you can actually hire multiple engineers. And they're sort of on contracts, and you get, they can have various bonuses as to things that they're better at fixing, and I think there's kind of other bonuses and things going on as well, but I've only just really scratched the surface of it so far. There's also, there's a PvP mode. You can play against your friends. I mean, this is all through Steam, so it's got, and I've, kind of slightly messed that corner up, but I didn't crash off into anything at least. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it will have Steam support, Steam Friends List support anyway. I mean, I actually know at least one person who's got this, who is Finnish, unsurprisingly, because, like I said, the Finns are mad on there. You know, every single Finn, it's 100% true, every single last person in Finland is mad on racing and racing games. Every single one, yes. Yes, 100% true. Yeah, no, I've heard that if you're in Finland and you don't like watching, you know, rally driving and Formula 1 and all that kind of thing, they basically just exile you to Sweden, which is obviously the worst fate there is for a Finnish person. Anyway, but yeah, there's various kinds of, like, they've also got an online, and again, very reminiscent even of the Gran Turismo series, kind of like an online list of events that kind of refreshes and updates. So, I've already done one of them, which was the Pikes Peak Challenge. It's a very, very famous road course, Pikes Peak. It's really quite difficult. And they make you do it without a co-driver, it's just you. It's more like a road race than a rally race, a rally event, but you're not actually racing against people. It's still a timed event, but it's all on road. Hello, bit of handbrake there, bit messy. I've managed to already pull off in some races some nice handbrake turns, but anyway. But yeah, that's kind of like they have daily events and weekly events and that kind of thing. So those are all going to be going off, kind of like leaderboards and times as to what rewards you get, I imagine. But as for actual PvP, you know, playing directly against people, I don't know if you... Well, I imagine you take turns, or else they do it with kind of ghosting. You've got both people effectively playing at the same time, but the cars don't interact with each other. Now, the water effects are a little bit, when you drive through, like the actual splashes are alright, but when you actually look at the puddle surface, it looks a bit meh. But hey, it's a work in progress, and for a work in progress, it's looking pretty damn nice. So yeah, I'm going to give that a test at some point fairly soon, definitely. As to why, you know, this video is coming out, well, I can play this with my Xbox controller, and my arm is still bothering me, so it's much nicer to be able to... Whoa! Oh, that fence post gets me every time, because you come through the water and you can't see it. I mess up that turn every time.
Left 5 opens crest.
What was I saying? I've forgotten now.
60 to finish.
Oh yeah, my arm was bothering me, so I can sit and play this with the controller. And the other thing I can sit and play with the controller at the moment is Grand Theft Auto 5. But I've mostly been wandering around taking photographs in GTA 5, so I thought we'd actually have something where I'm playing a bit of game. A bit of game I can record at 60 potentially. There we go, that was a much better result. So I'll just, there we go, I've moved up to 5th place, and it will, if I go through this season, it will get me like some money, some credits depending where I finish, and there are upgrades for the cars as well. Although they're kind of, I think they're locked to the car, so there's 2 for each car, and then a kind of an advanced settings unlock where you can basically go and tweak everything. And I haven't really done anything like that yet. But I'll just show you the repair vehicle thing. And actually, you can see that there's a big long list. And this is fairly typical for rally games. It gives you a big long list of, you know, all the individual components. You've got a half hour, and each of them takes, you know, X amount of time to fix. And it does quite nicely have a crew recommendation, so the AI will go, well, I think you should fix these things. So it's saying wheels, suspension, radiator, and the engine. So I can go, okay. And we've spent almost all the half hour, so the car is not quite 100% fixed, but it's better than it was. So this is, yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's gonna be if you're not already into racing games, if you're not into kind of rally games, it's not like this one does anything particularly new or different, but it feels like a really solid, very smooth running iteration of a very long-running series. And, you know, Codemasters has got some form here. They've been making rally games for quite a long time, and this feels like a very, very good one. So, yeah, I've enjoyed it, and, well, it didn't hurt that it was essentially free alongside my my graphics card. But if you are into rally games and you're missing having a good rally game on the PC, then maybe, you know, it's pretty good. I've been enjoying it, and it's still under development, so they're adding stuff fairly frequently. You know, it's definitely far from a completed and finished game yet in terms of, you know, cars and content and maps and everything. So if you've enjoyed this bit of rally vroom vroom, you can leave any comments below, you can hit the like button, you can subscribe to my channel, and as always, stay tuned for more.